At E3 2018, finally after years of waiting and waiting, CD Projekt Red revealed Cyberpunk 2077's first real trailer, giving insight into the wild and crazy setting of Night City that is ruled by the corporations. The initial reaction was extremely positive, and then the interviews came in which it was confirmed multiple times this is a game played from the first-person point of view, something that many gamers are pissed about and threatening to boycott over. And now, a few years ago in a presentation, it was shown that CD Projekt Red was aiming for Cyberpunk 2077 to be a game featuring a third and first-person point of view, which is why a few weeks ago, before E3 2018 even began, there was a massive leak coming from one of Poland's largest gaming websites, who had previously leaked the E3 trailer reveal date and the gameplay reveal that would be shown to the press only, and they claimed the game would be an FPS, something that people were pissed about, calling this Polish site's report fake news, and now it appears everything they claimed was in fact real. For the last week or two, the outrage over CD Projekt Red's decision has been loud. There's now a petition calling for a third-person point of view and numerous tweets of people saying they are boycotting the game because of CDPR's decision. I'm going to avoid some of the extremely hateful comments, but some of the examples that I can find right now are, all interest in this game has been lost since the announcement of it being in first person and FPS. We'll probably wait for a deep sale before picking it up because I loathe FPSs and first person games. And then I'm a big fan of CD Projekt and a supporter since Witcher 1, but guys, the first person thing killed all of my hype. I was hyped since I knew of 2077 years ago, and as soon as I read the news I was left speechless. I still am. I never bought a first person game and I won't start now. The next one we have is Big Letdown. Was expecting third person perspective. RPGs should not be made with first person perspective. I thought you knew this very well after the success of the Witcher series. And then the last one I'll bring up is hashtag Cyberpunk 2077 game. Looks horrible, like a Sunset Overdrive meets Mirror's Edge yawnfest with the typical freak show characters, completely opposite of grown-up theme and story, zero interest plus first person, yuck. Biggest disappointment for sure. And then there's just a lot more complaints and negativity, but I think you kind of get the idea. Now, there's been a fair bit of confusion going around. While this is a game played from a first-person point of view, CD Projekt Red is not calling it an FPS and have stated within cutscenes while you're driving and upgrading your character V, the protagonist, it will all be done or shown in a third-person perspective. CD Projekt Red has chosen to make this game primarily from the first-person point of view because they feel it contributes to the liveliness of the city, something that they want to emphasize and make it feel personal. Mike Pondsmith, the creator of the original pen and paper role-playing Cyberpunk games, who's also assisting CD Projekt Red in development of Cyberpunk 2077, was interviewed by GameSpot and gave a very long and detailed answer to why this game needed to be played from a first-person perspective, saying, "This is where I put my designer hat on, and I get to put on both my table and my video game designer hat, both. This is why it's important. The one thing is the state of the character, the interfaces they use, the drugs they take, the way they deal with their implants. It's all very internal to the head of the character. And if you step out of that, out into a third-person view, it becomes a busy hub that you're tracking. On another technical level, the world is massively immersive, and if you're stepped back from that into a third-person avatar dummy, you're not really a part of it. I'll give you an example. I went and walked over at one point to another character's car, and as I was walking, somebody that I never actually saw in the crowd makes a comment, and they're talking about some problem that they're having with their girlfriend, and it was peripheral. It was in my hearing. I didn't see the person, and I really was interested in this story that was going on. I wanted to know more about this. My belief is that third person has a lot of good places. In this particular case, I think first person was best because it could provide more than just the immersion. It could provide the tools for you to perceive the world and make decisions that were proper within that world. If I have a 360 view, I see everything, and I know where the bad guys are coming from all the time. It is kind of a shooter where we're setting up the targets. If I am immersed in it, then I'm having to take split-second decisions that feel real, because in real life, you don't know what those guys 300 feet away are doing. If one pulls out a gun, you have to make a decision. That's important if you're going to be immersed in a world, and particularly when you're dealing with a game that is so heavily role-playing driven as this game is. Look, honestly, I was expecting a third-person focused game from CD Projekt Red, but I'm still extremely excited for Cyberpunk 2077 because of how talented the developers working on this game are, and I honestly understand what they are aiming for, and from all the previews and initial impressions of the game, people who actually saw this game in action, this looks like it could be game of this generation. Either way, gameplay is probably coming very soon, so we'll be able to judge this for ourselves, and I have faith in CD Projekt Red, at least that's just my opinion, but what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, but thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, and consider subscribing for much more Cyberpunk 2077 content to come, and I'll see you later.